into American Indians. No,
What up? What up? It's your boy ConcertViz34. Excuse me. And I'm back at it again here on another Saturday night stream. And for today, one of my biggest fears of a post-pandemic world, which is the rising prices of concert tickets, has come true. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge J. Cole fan. J. Cole is a hip-hop artist that I grew up with in my college days as he was on his rise to superstardom in the hip-hop world. I've seen him in clubs, college gyms, bars, arenas, and 30,000 person amphitheaters. And his on sale went on for his upcoming tour, his off-season tour for 2021. It happened yesterday, and the prices are, to me, extremely high. And it's a continued trend that started before the pandemic, which was the pricing of the primary ticket provider, Ticketmaster / Live Nation, them actually, charging extreme prices as if they're the broker. And the way the ticket industry has always worked is you have your face value ticket price. And then if you have some extra money, if you want to get tickets last minute or even just outside of, to the show sold out, you pay a little more, or sometimes you pay less if the demand is not there through the ticket broker. But now Ticketmaster is trying to play broker. They are trying to be the ticket broker, not just from a resale option, but the primary ticket pricing is dynamic, meaning they can change the price at any time. And this is something that I'm willing to risk not seeing my favorite artist live if it means taking that chance of not getting a ticket from the primary with the on sale and waiting closer to the show. And the reason I do that is because I've seen so far with acts like Dead & Company, which to me have a larger fan base and crowd size than J. Cole. They had high demand shows in 2019 that if you bought tickets the week of the on sale, they were higher at the face value price in the same section, same row, a week before the show through the same primary through Ticketmaster. And I'm going to show you what I saw when I went to try to go to the local show here in New England, which is Boston, Massachusetts show on Friday, October 1st, 2021. So we want to get into that. I don't see anyone on right now. Actually, one person just came on, but if anyone comes on and wants to talk concerts or other matters, let me know as well, as we do have a lot of concerts that are being announced every week. We have rescheduled dates that now we have faith that they're not going to be rescheduled again, that they're going to go on as planned. And I'm the first one to admit I was wrong about concerts in 2021. I did not have much optimism with 100% capacity shows. I thought this was going to be more social distance till the fall, but we're going to get into July. We have, shows that are going to be full capacity in July. We have, up here in the Northeast, Connecticut. I'm in between Boston, New York. Yankees, Red Sox are playing right now. My Yankees are down. Both of those teams have full capacity at their ballparks, and there are, you don't need to wear a mask per se. And depending on where you're sitting, and each individual ballpark has some different rules, but you don't have to wear a mask in your section. So I was wrong. So we do have some tours that are going to be on as planned. We have some on sales that have been going on for some new shows. But let me take you guys to this map. This is the J. Cole Boston. And what I want to show you guys here is just some frustrations that I have with this map. Now, look, did the show sell out? Technically, no. You have a lot of upper deck seats. But the lower level, pretty much, these seats, there's nothing really available outside of some select sections. And here's why. We click on the ticket here. I know it's hard to see, but let's see. But these tickets are ridiculously expensive. But for instance, right here, $185 for a club seat. Now, you could argue that's a good, that's not too extreme. But here's the thing. If we get up to the upper level of this venue, this is the balcony. This is where you're not going to be able to see everything. It's $139.50. $139.50 plus fees for a upper deck seat to J. Cole. And this is a hip hop show. This is someone who, has never had this pricing for upper deck seats in a larger venue like this. Maybe for a more intimate venue where the upper deck is on top of the lower deck. But $139.50 plus fees, and you wonder why the show didn't sell out. And this is dynamic pricing, meaning at any time, these seats can be lowered, they can be raised. It really just depends on how Ticketmaster wants to do this. And this is the primary. And how's it going, Jacob? Thank you for joining. You're right, less than a month till the Dave Matthews Band touring starts. So that's exciting. Even though I won't be seeing them till August, it's exciting to know that there are shows that are going to be going on. But this is J. Cole, right? These tickets, a couple of years ago, $139.50. These tickets would have been $70, $80 at most, if not cheaper. Further you get up, some of these seats at the back. Now, yes, at the second to last row, $109.50. Oh, sweet. These tickets would have been $50 or $60. Yes, prices go up over time, inflation, all that jazz. But the fact that you're paying nearly $200 for a balcony seat to J. Cole, what the concern is, if J. Cole is charging this, someone that's been more affordable than Dave Matthews Band or a Jay-Z or other big acts that can sell out stadiums if they wanted, or sell out amphitheaters at least. And some of them can sell out stadiums depending on the era, right? And Jay-Z can do, him and Beyonce on the Run tour sells out football stadiums. This is a concern because this is $139.50 plus fees. Meaning you're going to pay over $210, $215 just to be in the upper deck for this show. Now, yes, you have your resale tickets, right? And these are going to be higher. This is the first row of the balcony, $232 plus fees. But the concern is if the primary is this high, that means the secondary is going to be higher. If the secondary is higher, the cost of going to a show, you've priced out so many of your fans. And yes, there's expenses and things that need to be met. But this is still kind of outrageous. This is as far back corner of the venue, just to give you some perspective, and you're paying almost $200 to be in the back corner. That is ridiculous to me. And then even in the lower level, right? You want to be side stage. $274. And yes, you're right next to the stage, but you're side stage. You're not going to be able to see the full view. You want to get close here, 400 something dollars, 404.50. And you want to be here. These are still really good seats, but $404? No, I'm not going to pay that. Now, someone may, but look, all these people rush to get to this first, J. Cole show in Boston that's going to be scheduled since the pandemic, and there's still seats left. These seats up here in the back corner, last row, 185 in the upper deck. I mean, the lower level. The last rows of the lower level. This is my concern. And what I'll tell you is this: if you have the willpower, look, if you can pay whatever price you want to pay. I can't stop anyone from paying, whatever they, choose. But if you can hold off, I'm telling you, these seats will not be going anywhere anytime soon. And they may even remove some of these seats to make it appear as if they're gone. But you can bet your bottom dollar that I would say at least half of these blue seats will still be up the week of the show. As a matter of fact, they will be at a lower price because they have dynamic pricing, meaning they can change the price of this at any time for the primary seats, the blue seats. I mean, look at this. Your side stage in the back, and you're paying $109. Side stage and mid balcony, and you're still paying that. And then, of course, anything in the first row. Let's see what it is here. So these are all 109. But look at the stages right there. You're at the upper deck. You have to go past the two levels of club level, and you're really high up. And yes, you have 21 Savage opening up. But it's still crazy. Ron from Colorado, good to see you. I don't know, you should be right back. But that is my concern here, is that this pricing is getting crazy. You know what's crazy is this pricing gives me more of a, hey, I thought DMB's pricing was crazy, and we'll see what happens next year. That's the concern. They can't really change the pricing because these tickets were sold in 2020 at a certain price, which was higher than previous. But J. Cole, this being a new set of shows being announced, these prices are extreme. And this is the thing, versus New York. $581 to be, and yes, it's New York City, but still, J. Cole's not worth that. Now they have a mid section, and then they have an upper deck. There's only one level of suites at Barclays, but $481 to be in section 107, really mid venue. And then the upper deck back corner, let's see, $129. So they're dynamic. They're saying, look, it's New York City. We're going to jack this up. I don't like this. And I will fight this. Even if the thing is, people aren't even buying these seats. J. Cole can easily sell out. And it'll be technically a sellout, right? These seats will be filled. Well, all I'm saying is that waiting it out is going to be the best strategy for this. Just because I really think that people aren't going to buy into this. And look, they're increasing their profit margin, right? That's their job. But they're going to such extremes that the prices of ticket, the fact that the variable pricing, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. And we could take a look at some other concerts here that are coming up. just to see what's going on. But I mean, it's outrageous. Let's see. Let's see if we can get any Foo Fighters. This is a new date for Foo Fighters. Tickets are sold out, so you can't even see. And it makes sense. I mean, the Foo Fighters, although I think they're overrated at times. I understand that they have a following and they've had hits, but I mean, still they're a popular band. Let's see, 21. And this is an interesting. For those of you who don't know, 21 Pilots is doing a thing where they're doing a club venue, they're doing a smaller venue, and then they're doing a large venue. It's called the Takeover Tour. So, for instance, they're doing the Bottom Lounge in Chicago, the House of Blues in Chicago, and then they're doing the United Center. Oh no, so they're doing the Bottom Lounge, Aragon Ballroom, House of Blues, and United Center. And the whole idea is they do a small venue, a little bit bigger, and then they do an arena. So let's see, for instance, Paradise Rock Club, which is like they would House of Blues again, and then TD Garden. So let's see. Actually, these tickets aren't that bad. These tickets aren't bad. I mean, I gotta give them credit for that. I mean, they could have. Yeah, these actually aren't bad. This is a bad example. If you guys notice too, I got some lighting here as well. If you notice, I'm a little brighter. I got this new lighting thing. I can change change the mood here. So I got this cool little thing here to add lighting so you guys can see me a little better. Hopefully you guys can see everything clearer, but this is a bad example because 21 Pilots is and I think 21 Pilots has been great. Even with some of these shows, they're figuring out ways to get their fans to get the tickets. Let's see if we can go to get the Backstreet Boys. Oh, they moved everything to 2022. Yeah, like even this is platinum, $346. Like that's the thing is all these seats, any seat here in the lower level is a platinum seat. Pretty much, except a standard ticket 166. But anything up here is platinum. And they used to sell these tickets. Now, yes, they would sell it at 166 or 150 or 140. Someone would put it on the secondary for a higher amount. Same thing with the pit. The pit would be sold for $100, $150, and they would just look, hey. Some people would get them at that price. Other times they would go to brokers and take it and say, no, we're going to be the broker, $299.50. It's definitely frustrating and it's unfortunate, but that's where we're at right now. Is we're seeing that Some of these prices are only going to go up, and we just have limited information. Like this J. Cole show just got announced. Maybe if we look at Dead and Company, let me see. And Dead and Company is another band who I love the Grateful Dead and everything, but they've been wild too. Their pricing even before this, like I said, there were Grateful Dead tickets that initially they were so high priced, and then the week of the show, Ticketmaster's having face value tickets go down. And this is so. Let's see. Oh, this thing sold out. But see, this is just to give you some more perspective. So this seat, it's almost $300 to be mid pavilion. That's outrageous. And oh, look, same thing. You can get this special package for $290. I mean, that's crazy. Now this show is more sold out, but it's like nearly $300 to be at the back of the pavilion. And I've sat here before. The first, it looks like they changed up. Oh no, they didn't. These are suites, but I've sat in like outside of the first row behind the mix, or really being in the first or two rows of the mid pavilion. The rest of the pavilion is like, it's okay, but it's not worth $300. That's what the problem is. And the lawn has been rising for years. The lawn's going to cost you after fees, right? So it's $51.50 each. But the lawn price has gone up, and I know things get more expensive, but I mean, tickets have already been expensive, and I think that the fact that they're just this dynamic pricing is getting ridiculous. The cost to go to these shows is getting crazy. Now this show has nearly sold out pretty much, the pavilion. The lawn will be pretty full, and I'm going to miss this show because I'll be at the Gorge. I'm somewhat devastated that the one time, the one Hartford show for Dead and Company is the same weekend I'll be out in Washington. But I mean, it's just frustrating though too that look at that $440 for the pit. That's crazy. It's crazy for a band that's about the fans and about peace and love, and they want a piece of your wallet, right? So, oh, sorry, I realize I'm not sharing this. Bear with me. I'm still getting used to everything. But just to show you some things here, like look at this. Nearly $300. You're going to pay over $300 for these mid pavilion seats. $296, and just to show you the pit, $440. I mean, that's crazy. And a lawn, $51.50. So sorry about that, guys. I know I wasn't sharing my screen like I thought I was, but yeah, it's outrageous to see some of that here. And again, if you guys want to be on the stream, I know it's not for everyone. If you guys want to talk some music, DMB, talk, concerts you're going to, please message me on comment on this YouTube page, comment on Twitter at ConcertViz34, and also on Instagram. You can DM me, and maybe we'll try to set something up because I'm hoping to get more people on here for Saturday nights as I stream to actually, come on and be able to talk back to me. If you agree, disagree, want to bring your own input, tell us about how you got into some of the concerts that you've gone to, the artists you've got into, how you got into these artists and what they mean to you. But yeah, I mean, I would love to hear from some of you guys about what you're doing, what you think. So definitely Conserviz34 on Twitter, on Instagram, or comment here on YouTube. Be glad to go from there. So another thing that we were talking about on Twitter was our favorite versions of number 41. Someone is having a 41st birthday, and you always have, listener supported was one that was up there. To me, one of the things I love about number 41 for Dave Matthews Band is John Mayer guested twice on it, and both versions are amazing. I love John's tone. I love him as a guitar player. I mean, my guitar playing, electric guitar playing, is shaped after John Mayer. A lot of my acoustic playing, as I started to get into acoustic, I definitely learned from Mr. Dave Matthews. And for electric guitar, John Mayer was that gateway into B.B. King and Buddy Guy and Eric Clapton and Stevie Ray Vaughan. But he was the guy I saw, right? Because Stevie Ray Vaughan tragically passed away. And helicopter crash before I was of age. And I saw B.B. King, but by the time I saw him, he was very, very old. It was a pleasure to see him. I saw Buddy Guy, but he was in his 70s. So I never saw them in their prime. I never saw Jimi Hendrix, right? I never saw, other guitar players who in the 70s and 80s, even some in the 60s, shaped the way guitar playing was, Eddie Van Halen, right? Rest in peace. I never even saw him while he was still here. And even if I did, he was older. I didn't see him in the 80s. So I say all that to say that one of my favorite 41s is Virginia Tech. Concert at Virginia Tech after the shooting that, Dave Matthews was on a slate to play. John Mayer hopped on stage. Roy played with John, I believe, as well. And John Mayer set for that concert. That was part of a healing process at Virginia Tech. I think that was 2000. I want to say 06. I want to say it was 06. Could be wrong, but let me know in the comments too. What's your favorite version, number 41? The Ottawa one with Bella Fleck and the Flecktones is up there. It's a 30-minute 41. So yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, apologize for being a little late. I had to set up this new light that you see, giving me more brightness. You can see me. It's a lot brighter. So you see with it off. See, it looks a lot dimmer, and I have a backlight underneath this desk that gives me a little light. But now with this, and I can change I love this. Change the color. It's a really, really cool thing here. Looks like we don't have many, one person on, but hopefully we can get some more people on for next week. Have some conversation about the concert season, about Dave Matthews Band, and the upcoming tour that they're gonna embark on through late summer into the fall. And talk about, we'll hopefully be hearing more about the new album. Another thing that I just saw today is Dave Matthews Band is promoting some of the drive-in shows, right? So the 2013, I think it was the 2013 one from Ohio. is being promoted. Actually, we can bring that up here. Let's take a look. Here, one moment here, folks. There we go. So it's time for tour warm-ups. Watch the first Dave Matthews Band concert played on June 1st, 2013 in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. It's outside of Cincy, Cuyahoga County. Or not Cincy, sorry, Cleveland. Cuyahoga County is up there in Cleveland. And this is from last year's drive-in series. So the tour warm-ups are now the DMB drive-in shows, which I wish they would have been able to pull some actual music from 2019 or even from the past for each venue and then show like a warm-up song that may have not been released. That would have been cool if they did that in previous years, but they're not doing that here. For this, they're saying, hey, go to the drive-in. Also, another thing here for DMB, this was a blunder. So if you look right here, it says on this day in 2016, Dave Matthews Band performed in Camden, New Jersey at the BB&T Pavilion. Were you there? And the set list was full of highlights, including the debut of Plastic Girl, one of the most hated Dave Matthews Band songs universally ever. Now, the other mention, the mention of Pig, the encore with Pig was awesome. All on the Watchtower, you know my feelings on that. If you follow me, I think it's an overrated cover to end the show. I think it's better mid. I think with the current band, it's not as good as it used to be. It's too much electric guitar. It's too predictable. There's no variety, and Tim plays it to a T, like the recording of does a Stairway to Heaven interpolation. Now this was my this is my comment here. Plastic Girl had DMB fans. That's Jay-Z and the girl from, I think that's the I Just Want to Love You video. They're trying to get out. They're like, oops, didn't mean to sneak in here. But yeah, Plastic Girl is it's an all-time bad DMB song. A lot of people agreed with me. Yep. Man, Plastic Girl is a horrible song. Camden Misses You. There's no Camden show this year, and that's a big people are not happy about that. Obviously in the South Jersey, Philadelphia metro, there's not something that they're looking for, there's something they're wishing they had. There's no Camden, New Jersey show this year. It's a fan favorite two night venue still, after some other venues have gotten cut from having 2 nights. Excuse me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. DMB Mamas, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. What's going on with you down in Florida? Also, speaking of Florida, I know you're on the other coast. You're in the west side, in the western coast. But my heart goes out to Surfside, Florida, which is it's on the peninsula. So you have a couple of towns on the peninsula that kind of goes from Dade County and Broward County. It's a little peninsula that's just a strip of island. The southernmost portion is Miami Beach. After Miami Beach is Surfside. There's a bunch of other towns, and I've been out there to the Miami area. I stayed in Miami Beach in 2018. So I know I've been out there and have a cousin who lives in Homestead, Florida, which is a little further down, closer to the Keys. But I know, I know that area. I know that area. I've jogged that area. I've stayed in that area, and it is just so tragic of what happened down there. And they have some, they're gonna do an investigation. It seems like there were some warning signs, but that little strip of land that goes parallel to the coastline. It's pretty much, it's not solid. It's not a solid foundation, and it's really sad. And hopefully they can figure out a way. I mean, they're gonna have to look at this. And just to give you some perspective here, let me share, since we have you on DMB Mamas. So this is A1A is a highway that stretches out. So you have the Florida Keys. You have Key Biscayne, and then down here you have all these different like slips of land. So Miami Beach is the southernmost part. You have South Beach, Mid Beach, and then North Beach. And then Surfside is the next town, which kind of goes North Miami. You have Sunny Isle Beach. You have Golden Beach. So these are just towns. Hollywood, Florida, and then it kind of ends a little bit, and then Fort Lauderdale, it just kind of merges in. But you have some communities here that it's just a strip of land, and there's water in between, and this is where the collapse happened. But I just hopefully they look more at the buildings out there, because Florida is on a swamp. There's a lot of sinkholes. I'm sure you've experienced that, DMB Mamas, where there's sinkholes. Miami was a jungle. Miami was essentially a jungle, and they just cleared it out to make a city. And it was a city that was incorporated very late. You're talking about the 1900s, early 1900s. Miami was incorporated. So this land really is. It's one of the, outside of the West, the Mountain West and the Pacific coast, Miami is one of the last areas to fully be like developed, right? The Spanish and the original natives to the land, Native Americans, they had this, but it was all jungle. And then they realized, the whole idea, not to give you guys a history lesson, but the reason that Miami and Fort Lauderdale are so big now is because there was a great freeze in the early 20s, and they realized that Jacksonville and St. Augustine and all these areas in the northern part of Florida, the crops were ruined by the frost. But when you got to Fort Lauderdale and Hollywood, what now is Hollywood, Florida, and Aventura and Hialeah and Miami, none of it froze, because it still stayed tropical. It still was cold, but they realized they could plant crops south of St. Augustine, Florida, in these areas here, like West Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale and Hollywood. They could plant crops, and they would never really virtually freeze. There's not a recorded temperature in Miami or Key West, which is further south down here, that is below freezing, right? It's been in the 40s. And this, Key West is all the way down here next to Cuba, and I went out there too. That's the history of, I'm sure you guys probably know this, but if not, it's pretty interesting stuff. So Key West Key West all the way up to really Fort Lauderdale is really a tropical. It's a tropical climate that's even more tropical than northern parts and central parts of Florida. Orlando has had, can freeze. There can be frost, but you're not going to ever see it, barring some crazy situation here in Miami. And all of that led to the overdevelopment of this area. And with the development of this area, people build as close to the water as they can. And regardless of what you think with global warming and all that stuff, structurally, this area, they had warnings and it's tragic, but I really hope that I know it's a hopeless situation for some of these families, but I hope that there are lessons in there. I hope there's somebody there's anyone they can find right now on day 3, they can find them, but also there's some soul searching with what's going on in Florida to make sure these buildings are up to code, even in the other parts of the coast here, because this barrier this kind of extended island, it's not a peninsula because it has to be connected by, or maybe it is, I don't know. But I just hope that this is looked at for the really this special unique situation, right? Central Florida, people, there's more kind of to know about the mainland, but these islands, they got to make sure this stuff's up to code. You have a lot of people who retire down here, people's mothers and grandmothers and fathers and grandfathers, and even some nieces and nephews of people were here. But you did have a lot of people who come down here for the nice weather. They invest in these properties by the water for their well-being, and as they get closer to retirement or retire, some people had their grandkids and other children in these little in these apartments. And it looks like what we know right now, there were signs to point to, hey, there's stuff going on. This thing has been sinking 2 millimeters a year. Hopefully we can learn from that, because again, forget what you think about global warming. This is a reality. If something's not structurally sound, regardless of what you think about what the weather is, if something's not structurally sound, it's bound to have these issues where you have 12 floors of people. Some people, fortunately, were not at their condo or apartment or what have you, but many people were. It's 1 a.m. People are sleeping, and it's a tragic situation for sure. Oh, am I making creaking sounds? Yeah, it's because I'm moving in my chair and this mic is super sensitive. But anyway, let's see. D&B Mamas, anything going on as far as touring? Any things you're thinking right now as we get closer to the tour? We're less than a month away. Any updates on your planning to go to the Gorge? Oh, not me. Okay. Okay, so the Gorge in Albuquerque. All right, and speaking, I believe there was a balloon incident. I know you're from you lived in New Mexico. Oh, you have your tickets. Okay, you lived in not to. There was something else that I think it was a balloon. I know they have festivals out there. There's a festival, and I know you lived out there, but I think there was an accident with a hot air balloon. Family friend of mine who actually grew up in the same church. He was a hot air balloonist. And actually played. Yeah, Albuquerque balloon accident. Actually, my family friend, he played with O.J. Simpson with the Buffalo Bills. And then after his career, he ended up learning how to fly hot air balloons. I think there was what I heard about the hot air balloon crash. Oh, I thought there was one. Oh, balloon fiestas are a day after DMB. Okay, nice. 5 people have passed. Oh, wow. Yeah. There's a lot going. I mean, there's always something. I mean, even what we had last year, and that's why, just to put it in perspective, that's why I think, as much as I look, these concert tickets, and this is the problem is, we go to these shows because we know life is short and sweet for certain, but the prices are crazy. But I think that the reason, I try to go to what I can for concerts, because you never know. And even if you don't, even if you do know, even if you do make it through, these concerts are so special to just your mental well-being, your connection with other fans. And you never know what's going to happen. You never know what could be the last time. There's some people who, even throughout this pandemic, lost loved ones unrelated to COVID. They just have lost loved ones, or said, my dad passed, and I didn't realize this, but 2019 is my last concert with my dad, or with my mom, or with my brother in the community, through various fan forms. I've seen that, and that's why you go to these shows, because you never know what life may have, what life may bring, what changes, even if you being able to go to shows. Um, you go to if you can go to the show, if the price is fair, do what you can to go. I know finances come first. You don't want to be broke or put your family at risk, but if you're able to go to these shows financially, and it's a fair price in your eyes, you go to the show if you can. That's always been my motto. Family comes first. Helping family always comes first. But if you can go, I mean, you just never know. And even with the band, you never know, right? We lost Boyd, as far as he was no longer part of the band because of various factors we won't get into fully. But going to the shows I went to in 2016, from 2012 to 2016, I was able to see him. People who saw Leroy Moore, like you, DMB Mamas, I never got to see him. I wish I would have went to shows back then. I think that the timing for my DMB fandom was the timing, but I'm sure you've been able to appreciate the shows you did see with Leroy Moore. But anyway, that is really all I had for right now. Hopefully, like I said, we can get some of you guys on for a future stream and talk to you guys about what you're looking forward to, because I love to have the conversations. And that's all I got for right now. I'm going to end the stream. It's your boy ConcertViz34. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. Oh, you went to 2 shows before Leroy. Yeah. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys who are rewatching this for the replay. I know not everyone can make it on a Saturday night. It is a Saturday night. COVID is, it's not, it's still, there are still variants, and there's the Delta variant. I don't want to take it lightly, but we have options and we have an ability to travel more freely now. So I understand people have more plans now than, before, or a couple months ago, where you could kind of sit on here. You didn't really know what you could do outside, but things are getting back. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. It's your boy ConcertViz34. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, Instagram, Twitter, ConcertViz34, and on YouTube here. If you're watching this, you're on my YouTube page, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and it'll notify you when I go live, right on your phone, right on your PC, your tablet. That's all I got for today. Peace.